Speaking of dreamy, hunky men, why, Bob Cesca joins us now.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special broadcast.
You're cute and I love you, Bob Cesca.
Where you coming from?
Bob is calling us from Washington.
You Cesca things.
Go ahead.
Washington, D.C.
Just follow the money.
Hey, West Wing nerd. West Wing nerd. Guess what? We're having a West Wing reunion on the show today. Bradley Whitford and Richard Schiff, nerd.
You're opening for Bradley Whitford and Richard Schiff.
Oh my God, that's huge. I'm not wearing pants, so this is working out perfectly.
And I'm just going to say it. President Bartlett's going to do Sexy Liberal 5 again after. Okay, and so if you could just zip out a little something for him. Just write a little something. Sorkin's busy.
Sorkin is otherwise occupied.
Wow.
I have lots of questions I could ask them.
Yes, you should do the do the Biden fundraiser. That's what they're doing. West Wing trivia
Night tonight.
Nerd, you'll win the whole thing.
Oh yes, that's it. Everyone has to go home. I'm gonna win that. That's easy.
Nerdly, go to joebiden.com. It's the cast of the West Wing, a virtual trivia night tonight to benefit Biden-Harris.
Wait, did I just said I was going to win? I'm tempting the wrath of the thing. I'm tempting the wrath of the whatever from high atop the thing.
I picture you at home, right there where you are with all your nerd superheroes going, I know that. Toby didn't say that to Josh in season 3. That was season 4.
Oh, yes.
Oh, golly. Well, listen, you're not just America's newsman, you're mine. I didn't know this New York Post story just broke. Some smoking gun email reveals how Hunter Biden something. He left his laptop at a computer store, and so there's what now?
Yeah,
some email, some Hunter Biden email, which is really going to hurt his campaign. What?
I was just in the process of getting angry at NBC News.
Yes.
When this story dropped from the New York Post. So I don't know who I'm more angry at, NBC News or the New York Post.
Right.
I think it's about the same right now.
Right.
Because the New York Post, I guess, just published the Rudy Giuliani October surprise. This is I think the thing that Rudy's been working on for some time now.
And there's a sex tape, which
to me, So what it looks like
is good news because Hunter Biden is hot. I just want to say.
And again, I'm just I'm getting this information almost in real time right now. But it looks like what happened was Hunter Biden got water in his MacBook or something like that, brought it to a repair shop in Delaware, and then the repair shop guy was looking around in there and found emails and found a sex tape in there, and now somehow the New York Post has this stuff.
Yeah,
and it alleges that Hunter Biden was trying to set up a meeting between this guy from Burisma, a Ukrainian from Burisma, and Joe Biden about a year before this infamous thing where Joe Biden was trying to, was assigned by Obama to stop the corruption in the prosecutor's office in Ukraine. And see how complicated this is.
Bob, this will all be very vital information for people that have lost their job and their mother is on a ventilator and they're about to lose their health insurance. This will be very vital to know.
Yeah, it's a big fat non-story. No one cares what Burisma is. People can't spell Burisma, for God's sake. Most of the players involved are Ukrainians. It's very, very complicated. It's not easy to explain. Donald Trump can't even explain.
Oh my God, did you see? I swear to God, Bob, October surprise, bombshell, like ridiculous, desperate thing they think is going to work. But did you see in North Carolina Senate? They're like, oh, there goes the Senate. The Democrat had an affair with his numbers went up. He's now beating Tom Tillis, disease-ridden Tom Tillis, who has COVID, right? And the guy had an affair, apologized. You're like, really? You're the party of Donald Trump, and you're going to try to. And so now he's up several points in North Carolina because they're like, oh, there goes the Senate. He had a consensual affair, I mean, it's, oh my God, it is kitchen sink time, right?
Yeah. And by the way, I think we can call all the Republicans disease-ridden. Can we just say it's the disease-ridden Republican Party?
Yes.
Because that's really the truth. And we need to be truthful, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this thing is not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a lot of fuel for Donald Trump and all of the red hats going, oh, look, see?
It figures it would be Rudy, right? Like he was, if you watched Comey Rule, I mean, of course, and we already knew that, he was behind the final blow for Hillary that had forced Comey to do what he did because Rudy was, riding dirty with the New York FBI, and they were going to leak this, Hillary email thing. And so the whole thing, and here's Rudy again, right? With this, because Barr, where's Barr, by the way? Has anyone seen him since the Rose Garden thing?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No.
He eats a porterhouse for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just weighs 1,000 pounds. Okay.
He eats one of those
I know where
ribs.
But anyway, I mean, because obviously now Trump's pissed at him because Durham's got nothing. There's going to be nothing before the election. This unmasking probe, nothing. It's concluded with no charges or any public report because nobody did anything wrong, right? I mean,
that's what I was going to say. Bill Barr is in hiding because of that unmasking report from yesterday. I don't think he wants Donald Trump to call him or find out where he is because I'm sure Trump has a few things to say about that entire thing fizzling out hilariously, by the way.
If people don't know, if you just tuned in, the federal prosecutor appointed by Barr to review whether Obama-era officials improperly requested the identities of individuals whose names were redacted in intelligence documents has completed his work without finding any wrongdoing. The revelation has concluded his review without criminal charges or any public report. Will rankle Trump at a moment when he's particularly upset at the Justice Department. Right, so this is what we were saying. People were unmasked because they were talking to Russia, our adversary.
Yes.
Like this is
it's like 2013 never happened. It's like that whole thing with Edward Snowden and all those NSA documents. It's like it never happened. We forget all of that crap because it's just the way Americans are. We forget that the way the NSA operates is you can't spy on American citizens without a warrant, at least since 2008. And so, therefore, Carter Page was only unredacted from that after getting a warrant for that information to be revealed. And that whole process, according to the Justice Department yesterday, was completely on the level because, of course, it is. This is one of the more serious things that people in the intelligence community have to do to make sure that American identities are protected when they're surveilling foreign operatives and so on, which is what the case was with Carter Page. Again, this is a nonsense thing. When you ask them to explain it, they can't explain it. They just, look, again, it's like, oh my God, what? That seems weird.
Squirrel.
That's all they have.
Well, and you just, you retweeted someone that said over 215,000 Americans dead from COVID, and this buffoon is dancing like he's back in 1992 partying with Jeffrey Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, and you just said alien in an oversized man suit trying to duplicate human behavior. No one else fist pumps like they're knocking on a door. Along with everything else, he's such an awkward weirdo.
Yeah, he does this. This is the Trump fist pump. I don't know what
it's like
this
baby,
is.
baby,
Baby
knocking at a door.
Does this. Let me in, let me in, let me in. He's so weird. I mean, that's the thing above all else.
God.
He is just a gigantic farting weirdo.
Weirdo.
I mean, there is no one who is more weird. I mean, in an awkward way. I mean, there's fun weird. I mean, we're all fun weird. All of us here on this
Maria
show.
Bamford.
Donald Trump
weird.
Fun weird. Yeah.
Maria Bamford.
Fun weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
and Donald Trump is awkward and scary weird. Yeah. That's alien in a man suit. Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone just complimented one of my friends, a little kid, was like, "You're super weird, but super popular, I hear." Okay.
See, that should be on the masthead of StephanieMiller.com. That should be the positioner for the
That's our
entire
new positioning statement.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you also tweet. I mean, I love that whoever put up the sign that just said Trump super spreader event this way. I mean, we really have reached the Jonestown death cult part of. I mean, there they all are. Very few of them masked, right? All jammed in together, screaming. I mean, it's and as you said, breaking 24 COVID cases officially linked by officials in Minnesota to people who attended Trump campaign events, and you're like, who could have predicted? Every doctor, right? I mean, it is Jonestown. It is absolutely people willing to step into the pitch and take one for their cult leader. And but I think they have this feeling of immunity and invincibility only because their guy
came through it, or at least appears to have come through it, more powerful than ever, according to Trump himself. And that's all because of the dexamethasone. I swear to God, dexamethasone is the new Adderall. He's going to insist upon having a shot of dexamethasone once a week or whatever it takes, because I'm sure people around him have said, oh, look, Dr. Feelgood was injecting JFK with all varieties of stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
Listen, my tweet, I want him to lose in a landslide first, then go to prison. So I'm going to need a little time before the cocktail crash.
So,
I want all of the parts to, because then the prison then becomes the penniless part, and then also, okay. So, Bob, you've been watching the Supreme Court, whatever it is, farce.
Kind of, yeah.
You said it's realistic to at least slow down the confirmation process so Barrett's not seated till after the election results and after the ACA arguments on 11/10. That's 4 weeks from today. I agree with you, Bob. We're both fighters, you and I. You said Judge Barrett is sorry, you were talking. I'm sorry, that's not the one I was looking at. But just about, maybe I'm happy clappy and I'm too optimistical. But I'm like, we have to do everything we can to try and stop this. As you wrote, it's a great piece in Salon. This really is life or death. This is millions of people are going to die during a pandemic. She is going to repeal ACA. That is why she's been put on the court, to give the election to Donald Trump, right? In case of the fact that we're even talking about someone that's behind 16 points, it's going to be a squeaker that's got to be decided by the court, right? It is insane, right?
Yeah. They have given us no reason to give them the benefit of the doubt. There's no reason to think that Donald Trump didn't have that conversation with Amy Coney Barrett.
Right.
Some sort of, because we know one thing about Donald Trump, beyond him being an awkward weirdo, is the fact that he demands loyalty of the people he appoints, the people he hires. He thinks he's the CEO of the country. And so or I should say the mafia don of the country. And so he insists upon everyone taking some sort of loyalty oath to him. We've seen this story time and time again. Oh, what do you mean? Amy Coney Barrett was able to sidestep the loyalty oath process with the Trump hiring routine? No, absolutely not. She's lying to Congress when she says that she never had a conversation with Trump about the ACA or about the election. The reason this is being rushed through, the reason we are not waiting or taking our time with this thing, and I say I mean Mitch McConnell.
A lifetime appointment, Yeah.
I mean, the reason he's not taking his time with this is because they need him in there. They need Amy Coney Barrett in there in time to rule on the election and in time to be seated before November 10th when the arguments happen for repealing the ACA. And she won't admit that, obviously. That ship has sailed. So the thing that boggles my mind, though, is suddenly, I think this week arrived and the hearing started, and at least the online left, kind of went, oh, well, we're going to lose.
Right. Yeah, that's what you said. Based on comments here and elsewhere, it sounds like many of you are resigned to Barrett being confirmed. Way to fight for what you believe in. Now, I know there's a lot going on, but you're right, Bob. This is a lifetime appointment that is going to affect every aspect
and it's
of our
obvious.
lives.
It's obvious that they're not going to stop the confirmation process unless they get a magical fourth vote with the Democrats to get to 51. But short of that, all we need to do here is slow this down so she's not seated before November 10th. It's not a tough
Republican senators see this blue tsunami coming too. They see, right?
Yeah.
I mean, despite cheating in every way possible. So you're right, Bob. I'm not giving up. I am not a defeatist. Yeah. And you said Judge Barrett is quickly learning what it means to be closely linked to Trump. Her credibility is automatically damaged because of it. Trump's myriad scams have given us no other choice but to assume a corrupt bargain. I mean, plus it's like she's on the Federalist list. Like, all this that Sheldon Whitehouse was so brilliant at yesterday. Like, of course, he said he's not going to appoint anyone that won't overturn Roe v. Wade and the ACA, right?
Yeah. Well, it's quite obvious that that's what she's in place to do. And besides, even if there wasn't a corrupt bargain, we know from her record that this nonsense, simplistic originalism, that it's basically just ignorance packaged in a fancy word, originalism.
Yeah. As you said,
it's
archaic,
so surfacey. Yeah,
archaic right-wing dogma. That's what it is. She wouldn't be sitting there. She's a woman. If she, if you're an originalist, right?
Yeah. Obviously, just looking at the text of a document from 250 years ago is not as informative as, taking the time to intellectually interpret what the words actually mean and what was being implied in the Constitution. Instead, these originalists just take everything literally. It's like the biblical literists are just as absurd, thinking that this is exactly, and we can't talk about anything beyond the text of this document. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It seems so limiting and, for lack of a better term, ignorant. It just doesn't require any intellectual thought or interpretation or extrapolation that any of us would do with any other document. We all do this. There's more to just the written word. It's what's between the lines that also matters. And that's
we're in
lost
these ridiculous arguments, as you point out, Bob. You said Mike Lee just said fetuses feel pain as early as 10 weeks. That is a whopper bro science lie. It's not even 20 weeks. Science says it's in the third trimester, 27 weeks. Also, COVID patient Mike Lee is so right to life. He's appearing at the hearing without a mask. I mean, this whole charade is.
Yeah. Talk about another guy who's probably on dexamethasone. He was motor mouth Mike Lee yesterday.
Oh my God.
In fact, he started talking. And he was spewing all kinds of disinformation about abortion. And so I just had enough of that. So I went off, I did some work. I was working on prepping my own show. And it seemed like I was doing that for like an hour. And then I went back and Mike Lee was still talking.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was more of this nonsense about this counterfactual, non-scientific or counter-scientific information about fetal development. And it's wrong. Ask any obstetrician and they will tell you.
We linked to Bob's great piece, but you just said without the ACA, rates will spike. More than 133 million Americans will be screwed. Thousands will die. No one will be safe. No one. That's the Trump healthcare plan. And Amy Coney Barrett is on the verge of helping him accomplish this horrifying victory. We linked to Bob's fantastic piece. And now you got to get writing for President Bartlett for Sexy Liberal. Get to it. Mini Sorkin.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Love you.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
I love you
Bob.
too.
Bye, Bob.
Bye.